Most men give everything they got, but still feel unseen, unsupported, and spiritually broke. Why is that? Because real partnership starts with how you show up for yourself, how you hold space for others, and how you talk to God, the field of possibility, when no one is watching. You see, if you've ever felt like people don't really see you, or you try hard to help others but end up feeling tired or upset, or you're talking to God feels more like a chore than something really special, then this video is made for you. We're going to talk about two simple things: how to give in a way that feels good, fulfilling, and empowering rather than exhausting, and how your connection to God, the field of possibility, not the old white man in the sky, can help in everything that you do. Today, we're talking about generosity and powerful partnerships. You see, brothers, most men do not understand how powerful partnerships work. I was one of them. By age 33, I was a struggling entrepreneur. I was making a 7-figure income, but internally, I was struggling. I was alone, and I was emotionally on the brinks of having a massive breakdown. Most guys travel through life just the same way I did. They go through their struggles alone, and very few of them have powerful partnerships that are supportive, empowering, and elevating. Look at the statistics. 85% of businesses in America are sole proprietorships, meaning it's just one person carrying the entire weight of the business. This is because most people have never been taught how to operate in powerful, healthy partnerships. And today, you're going to learn a lot about it. By the end of this video, you're not going to struggle so much by yourself. And the first lesson I want to share with you is that powerful partnerships start with acknowledgement. Brother, how many relationships do you currently have that you do not acknowledge as a partnership? So many of us men have different relationships that we're afraid to stand in conviction inside of. We show up passively. We are not fully present and fully engaged. We put so many eggs in different baskets because we're afraid of getting hurt. So, how generous and how convicted are you with the people who are in partnership with you? Are you passive about the people who are partnering with you? And I'm not just talking about whether it's your girlfriend or your wife. I'm not just talking about your business partner, but others who are here to partner with you in your life's purpose, in your vision, in your mission, and in your goals. I want you to start to acknowledge them. I want you to speak to these people and say, hey, you know what? I recognize that you are a powerful partner in my life's journey. And with that, I want to create a container with you. Brothers, this word container is such a powerful tool. Many of us men have been raised to not be fully embedded and fully invested into the relationships we have. We've been hurt so many times that we always have a backup plan. It's not until you create powerful containers in your life where you can actually benefit from all of the resources that are all around you. What do I mean by that? Have you ever been in a relationship with a woman and you told her that you're not exclusive and you only get so much from her? And then you showed up and you said, you know what? I changed my mind. I have courage. I'm going to give this a try. We are now exclusive. Have you noticed how much more resource the woman brings to your life, brings to the table when she has the safety of being in an exclusive container with you? This is true about everything. The more powerfully you acknowledge the containers that you step into, the more resource you will gain from them. So, what I want you to start to practice is creating containers in every partnership that you're present into. Meaning, first acknowledging, going to the person in your life and saying, you know what? I recognize that you are a partner with me in my life. You might not be a business partner to me. You might not be a romantic partner to me, but in this path that I walk, in this project that I'm in this mission that I have, I see you as a partner. And I want to first acknowledge that. And secondly, I would like to create a container in our partnership. This concept of container is one of the most powerful things in your life as a man. When you create a container, what you are doing is you're creating safety, rules, and expectations in a relationship that can allow you to thrive. If you have a lot of friends, partners, women around you, but you're constantly finding yourself depleted, constantly being whiplashed around, trying to serve other people, I want you to listen carefully. Creating a container means creating a structure, a space where you and the partner can thrive, a place that has clarity, that has expectations, that allows you to not only give generously, but to also receive and benefit from all that the other person has to give. So containers usually have three components. The first container is the rules. What rules are relevant to each partnership that you stand in? A rule could be, hey, in this partnership, let's agree that we will never be late. Let's agree to be on time. A rule could be, in this partnership, that we put in 50-50. A rule could be that in this partnership, we will share everything truthfully, no matter how challenging it becomes. That's a rule. Then there are expectations. Expectations are things that you expect, but if they are broken, nobody gets punished, nobody gets hurt. You just have another conversation. An expectation can be, in this partnership, we will do everything to edify each other. In this partnership, we will be vulnerable. In this partnership, we will celebrate as much as possible. Expectations are suggestions. So when you have these suggestions inside of a partnership, it gives ideas and gives expectations, and it gives a sense of, all right, how can I thrive in this relationship? Whereas rules are things that if they're broken, you are really on alert. You're going to have a real conversation around, wait a second, we broke a rule. How do we make this up to one another? Whereas an expectation is suggestions. Okay? The third component to any powerful container is agreement. What good are your rules? What good are your expectations if the other person has not clearly agreed to play by them? So, expectations and rules need to have an agreement. Do we agree that in this relationship, in this partnership, we're going to play by these rules and we're going to play by these expectations? And what's our agreement when these rules and expectations are broken? How do we want to agree to address them as mutual partners? Already, if you're practicing this very simple container, you will thrive and you'll see how much more benefits you will receive and how much more generosity you can experience in your life. Now, if you're practicing in this field of partnership, recognize that you're already ahead of so many people. Very few human beings on earth know how to thrive in partnerships. As I mentioned, most people are doing it alone. And in your partnership, how consistent are you? How consistent are you in showing up? Whether it's your business partner, your romantic partner, or another person that's in your life who is here to support you, mentor you, and elevate you? How consistent are you? And consistency is not just in terms of timing. I'm talking about your generosity. How consistently are you edifying them with your beautiful words? How consistently are you empowering them with good compliments and honest compliments, not bullshitting? How consistent are you with the acts of generosity that you give them? Is it once a while, or are you a generator? Are you constant in the way you generate? You see, brothers, this is really powerful because as men, we oftentimes get these spurts of generosity, these spurts of doing good things for people. And once in a while, we get tired, we get burnt out, we get heavy. And in those moments where our generosity dims, where our generating capability is diminished, that's the moment of truth. How do you treat yourself in that moment? Do you punish yourself? Do you betray yourself? Do you pretend like it's not happening? Or do you own your power? You see, ownership is another incredibly powerful component of partnership. There are times in my personal partnerships where I can't show up at 100% like I used to. There are times where I need a break. There are times where I need help. And in those times, that's when critical partnership comes to life through radical ownership. Radical ownership looks like, hey, partner, I'm going through a challenge right now. I'm not able to show up at 100% like I used to. I take ownership of that. I want to let you know that I acknowledge it first, that you don't need to call me forth on it. I see it for myself. I see where I could be showing up better. And here, I need some of your support. I need some of your patience. I need some of your generosity because I want to make this partnership work. I don't want to hide. I don't want to pretend. This powerful tool is so transformative to all of your partnerships. I would write this down. Radical ownership. Radical ownership. Taking radical ownership within containers is so empowering, not just to you, but also to the other person. They get to see what it looks like when you're not able to show up at 100% and how you own it first. They don't need to babysit you. Your partner doesn't need to chase you and say, hey, you should say sorry for this. Hey, you didn't show up on time. Hey, I'm worried. Why aren't you doing what you said you would? Instead, you go first. The moment you see that you're not showing up as powerfully as you know you can, I want you to own it first. I want you to have that conversation and say, hey, listen, I recognize that I didn't do this the way I usually do. I could have been more gentle, more generous, more compassionate of your challenges or of my own. I'm taking ownership of that. Thank you for your patience. This here is powerful partnership. And the more you are consistent, and consistency doesn't mean that you're always showing up at 100%. It means that even when you fail, you are consistent in being generous, in acknowledging your role in the partnership, in the co-creation. And this is a commitment that you make in the partnership. You're committing first and foremost to yourself. You're saying, hey, listen, I am so committed to this partnership that even when I don't show up perfect, my commitment to this partnership supersedes my ego. It supersedes me needing to protect myself to look good. That I can actually fall and own my failure, and that is what allows my partnership to thrive. How powerful is that? Imagine being in a partnership with a partner who has agreed to something that they could not do. How do you treat your partner? Do you yell at them? Do you spank them? Do you ridicule them? Do you avoid them? These are all nervous system responses. Or do you use generosity with them? And imagine if your partner who failed at something that he or she agreed to, before you go to them, they come to you and they say to you, hey, Johnny, I recognize I made an agreement with you to show up in a certain way, and I realize I didn't do that right now. I want to take ownership of that. Will you give me another chance? Let me try this again because I know I can do better. How blessed would you be to have a partner like that? How blessed would you be? How much more would you contribute to the partnership if you had a partner who owned their shit up front? We call this radical ownership. In fact, we're doing a series of one-day workshops in Austin, Texas, around this very powerful tool of radical ownership. We call it the full frontal experience. So, the more you show up for yourself, the more you can show up for others. And in this field of powerful partnerships, A, it's the container, meaning you're acknowledging that there's a partnership, there's rules, expectations. B is your commitment to the partnership. And what that means is sometimes putting your ego aside and saying, wow, I made a mistake here. I could have done a better job. Allow me to do it again. How can I make it up to you? And lastly, with your partnerships, how creative are you with your generosity? You see, as men, we are ultimately generous beings. We are providers. We want to provide. We thrive off of giving to others in ways that light them up. And sometimes we get stale, we get boring, and we become resentful. I'll give you an example. I'm a very generous man. I love to be generous. In fact, in containers, I can unleash my full generosity. Whereas when I'm not in a container, when it's just in passing, I might give somebody a tip, some change, advice, some courage, some help. But inside of a container where there's agreement, I am so generous, as I am sure are you. And within containers, sometimes I get complacent. Has that ever happened to you where your generosity becomes repetitive and the person starts to not recognize how generous you're being? And you're sitting there thinking, man, if this person only knew how much I'm giving to them, how much I'm providing them, why are they not grateful for my generosity? Why are they not receiving and acknowledging my generosity? Has that ever happened to you? If it has, put it in the comments below. Here's an example of something that's happened with me, and I'm sharing this with you so you can recognize how generosity needs creativity. I'll give you an example. I'm married, and for the past 5-6 months, my wife keeps sharing with me and saying to me, honey, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I need safety. And for me, it's been so challenging because I see myself as a safe, loving, generous man. And every time my wife says that, I take it personally. I'm like, wait, why doesn't she appreciate me? Doesn't she see the house, the cars, the bank accounts, the compliments I'm giving her? I'm always willing to help her with anything she needs help with. My time is hers. My work is hers. Everything I'm doing to support her. And yet she still says, I don't feel safe. This was driving me crazy. It was driving me insane until I recognized where I was getting complacent. You see, this word complacency is a real dangerous foe for all of us because as men, we are fixers. When we find something that works, we just keep doing it over and over again until we die. And some of us forget to try new things courageously, creatively. So I took my challenge that was driving me insane to a few brothers within our men's group. And I sat there and I was frustrated. I said, guys, I'm struggling with my wife. I'm struggling. I don't know how to figure this thing out. I'm thinking about what's wrong with me. And I know I practice radical ownership, and I know this has something to do with me, but I can't figure this out. I need your help. I shared with my brothers, I said, guys, my wife keeps telling me she doesn't feel safe. No matter what I do, I give her everything. I compliment her all the time. I don't yell at her. I don't raise my hand on her. Why is she not feeling safe? One of the guys said, Soleil, what has she been telling you about feeling safe? I said, it's simple. She keeps saying, be gentle, and I want to feel safe, and I need you to be gentle with me. And I told the guys, I said, guys, I'm gentle. I don't yell. I don't scream. I don't beat. What is going on here? And immediately one of the guys said, oh my God, she's speaking in the language of somatics. You see, when you're talking in somatics, gentleness isn't about giving me a compliment or not beating me. Gentleness is about touch, is about physical comfort. And immediately I recognized, I was like, oh my God, I know what she needs. I went home and I ran in like an excited kid and I said, darling, I want to cuddle with you for 15 minutes every night without words. Since that time, I started cuddling with my wife for 15 minutes. No words, just pure holding. And it's been miraculous. She wakes up every day saying, oh my God, I feel so safe. I feel so abundant. I feel so empowered. I didn't realize that my generosity was not hitting her in the way she wanted to receive it. So being creative changed everything. She now sees me as an extremely generous man only because I'm giving her 15 minutes of silent touching and cuddling. Think about this in your own life. Where in your life are you giving everything and the people are not feeling that they're being given to? They're not feeling appreciative of you. If that's happening, don't be resentful. Get creative. Creativity means finding new pathways of generosity. And you know what that does for you? A new pathway of generosity means that you're now generating in a way that you've never generated before. And that only leads to more wealth, more prosperity, more resource, and more connection. So don't get frustrated, get fascinated. Get fascinated. When you're generous and it's not working, get fascinated. Open your eyes, ask more questions, take your challenges to people you trust and say, how do I solve this challenge? I'm being generous. It's not affecting the people that I'm trying to serve. This is what a powerful king does. A powerful king, his service is infinite and abundant. His service is never, ever ending. A king never gets frustrated and never gets resentful of the very people who he is serving. So when your service is not penetrative, you get to go back and reassess and say, how do I serve in a different way? Rather than how do I serve in the same way more profoundly? How do I serve in a different way that can be received? We teach our men in our organization about leadership, godly leadership. And if this is something of interest for you, join our men's community. And now I want to talk to you about the second component of powerful partnerships. I shared with you that powerful partnership first means acknowledging the partnership. You see, if you do not acknowledge the partnership, how can the partnership serve you? If you cannot acknowledge and give credibility, direct credibility to the partnerships that you're in, how can the partnerships serve you? You're just playing passive. You're just going from one to another to another. It's not until you dive deep into the partnership that the partnership will benefit you. And we shared that a container is beneficial for you to unleash your generosity. And that your creativity in the field of generosity is what generates more wealth for you. Think about that. The more creative you are in your generosity, the more you're generating creative ways for you to also receive. Because we know that generosity operates in the field of reciprocity. That there's no way that you can be infinitely generous and not receive infinitely back. So, in the field of generosity, in the field of creativity, your highest creation is connected to God. What? Your highest generosity is connected. It's your creativity. It's connected to God. Now, before you get triggered and think, wait a second, is this guy talking about religion? Is he talking about the old white man in the sky all of a sudden? Stop. Stop for a second. Let's take a deep breath together. Brother, many of us have been told that God is the old white man in the sky, somebody that we must be afraid of, somebody to beg, somebody who is going to punish us. There is nothing further from the truth. I am here to share with you that God is the field of infinite possibility, and that your partnership with the field of possibility starts through your generosity, through your acknowledgement, through your celebration. That this partner of yours, call it the ultimate partner in your life is not the old white man. It is actually the field of possibility. And it's not until you stand forward and acknowledge the field of possibility that the field of possibility can acknowledge and serve you. How many people are operating as independent sole proprietors? How many people are hustling and bustling and grinding because they've been told that it's on them to succeed? Many of these people do not have a relationship with the ultimate business partner. And the ultimate business partner, God, the field of possibility, is here to serve you. It is here to serve, literally give you what you need. And it's not until you acknowledge the field of possibility that the field of possibility can get to work for you. Think about that. Let's talk about this in terms of business. Just imagine that you are an employer and that you want to be served by your employees. But you, as an employer, are so stingy. You're so conservative with your generosity, with your givingness, with your level of acknowledgement, that you never get served by your employees, because the only time you acknowledge them is when they do miracles, when they open the sky, when they bring in millions of dollars of sales. Let me ask you, who would want to work for a guy like that? Who would want to work for a boss who is so stingy, who is so conservative with his generosity in the field of acknowledgement? I wouldn't want to work for you. And let's compare this to a man who has employees who serve him and that he is generous with them in all forms. First and foremost, with his acknowledgement, but secondly, with his words, with his time, with his energy. Now I want you to replace all of your employees for this word called God. Not the old white man in the sky, but the field of possibility. If this field is here to serve you, how generous are you with your acknowledgement of the field? Are you waiting for the field to do miracles before you say, wow, I am so grateful for you and for the way that you are serving me in every moment? Brothers, we have been trained, indoctrinated to think that miracles are only associated with when Moses parts the sea, with when Jesus gets resurrected. That's a miracle. Wow. With when you win the lottery, you're like, wow, this is a miracle. Okay? Call that a mega miracle. Why don't you? But there are other miracles that you need to acknowledge before you get the mega miracles in your life. If all you're waiting for are mega miracles, Jesus to fall from the sky before you say, "Thank you, God, this is a miracle," you're going to be left dry for many, many, many years. Conversely, you can practice radical generosity with the field of possibility, God, and you say, "God, I see the miracles in every single moment. In fact, the micro miracles are what allow me to see and receive the macro miracles." This is being in the miracle gym and letting yourself recognize that every moment has blessings. How stingy are you with acknowledging them? And the more generous you become with acknowledging all of the miracles that already exist all around you, the more you open up space for partnership with God, the field of possibility. So today we are talking about the ultimate partnership. The ultimate partnership is with that field. The ultimate partnership is with the field that is here to serve you unconditionally. What does that mean? It means that it will serve you beyond how much you serve it. And for some of us who have a relationship with the field of possibility, not the old white man in the sky, we recognize that our generosity is our generator capability. Meaning, the more generous we are, what we're really doing is we're actually generating more for ourselves, for our family, for our communities, and for everybody around us. That we no longer need to anchor ourselves in a space of scarcity. Brothers, if you are the only one providing for yourself, of course it is scary. Of course you need to hoard resources. Of course you need to manage provisions. But for those of you who have a relationship with the ultimate partner, the field of possibility, not the old white man in the sky, when you have a relationship with the field of possibility, what you recognize, watch this, what you recognize when you have a relationship with the field of possibility, God, is that you are not the only one who is providing for yourself, your family, your friends, and for your community. That you can actually stand in a space of divine receivership. Divine receivership means that it is not up to me anymore where the resources come from. I am just a distributor on behalf of the field. And the more I am in devotion to God, the more I rest assured that the prospects, that the provisions are coming every single moment. This here is the field of abundance. This here is the field of co-creation. And the way this field works is, number one, we said acknowledging the field. How willing are you to acknowledge the field? The field will not come to work for you until you acknowledge it. The field will not get in your way and serve you until you acknowledge it. The field is here to be called upon. So acknowledge it. Give it a chance. See what happens. Is it true that what you heard about God can actually be completely a distortion? That God is actually a field that is here to celebrate with you, and that the more you go into partnership with this field, the more you can benefit from it. And now that you are in the field, and you created a container in the field, and you say, God, I am ready to work with you. Here are my rules. Here are my expectations. I am a man of power. I will not fawn you. I will not bullshit you. I will not pretend that you exist unless I am certain. I command you to show me. In that field, miracles start to pop up. And here is an opportunity for your generosity. So, when you work with God, how often do you ask? How often do you request? How often do you desire in this partnership with God? Versus how often are you willing to be asked of? How often are you willing to be called to service? How often are you seeking to serve in this field? Remember, any powerful partnership is one that is rooted in equality. And in the field of equality, what we know is that we can ask and we shall receive, and we can also be asked of. In this field of service is your abundance. In this field is your kingdom. Because when you have the courage to be asked of, and you say, God, my greatest business partner, I am here to serve you. And if that means taking a left turn on the way home, when I know my house is on the right, I hear the word take a left, I'm taking a left turn because I'm here to serve you. And when many of us have been raised and indoctrinated in schools that are all fact-based, data-driven, what we oftentimes resort to is data and proof before we take left turns. We tell God, hey, God, if I'm going to take this left turn, I need you to prove to me in writing with a seal of why you want me to do it, how you want me to do it, and how it's going to benefit me before I take a left turn. What kind of partnership is that? If you were partnered with your wife in a partnership of equality and she asks you to take out the trash, do you say to her, honey, tell me why you need me to take out the trash, write it down, show me how it benefits me, and only then do I take out the trash? Or do you actually just do it in faith, in courage, in honesty? This here is your ultimate partner. And this week, I want you to start to get into relationship with your ultimate partner. Create a container. Stand in your conviction. Hold your generosity. See how generous you can be with your partner, how honest you can be with your partner. And a part of your generosity is your honesty. Who wants to be in a partnership with a partner who's lying to himself, who is not owning his challenges? Who wants to be in a partnership with a partner who is pretending, hiding, diminishing, and fawning all the time? Not me. And neither does God. If God is the ultimate partner, the field of possibility, not the old white man in the sky, I'm talking about your ultimate partner. If he is ready to do business with you, how generous are you in your honesty? How willing are you to own your shit, to reveal your challenges instead of constantly pretending that your shit don't stink when everybody else knows that it does? This is the field of generosity with God. And this here takes some practice. So if you're not at that level of full devotion yet, but you're hearing some feedback from me and you're like, wow, this is really powerful. I've never heard of God being described in this way. I want to practice this thing. It starts with acknowledgement. Second is the container. Create a container. Third, radical ownership. Own it. Own your power. Own your challenges. Don't hide from yourself. Speak and say, look, these are my challenges. I'm struggling with this. I need help from my partner. Not just God, but every partner that you have. Reveal so you can heal. And with that, I want to ask you to close your eyes and repeat these words after me. I'd like you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I want you to repeat after me. I am a generous man. I give powerfully and intentionally to my partners. My generosity goes beyond my imagination. I stand in my generosity with full frontal honesty. I give courageously to all my partners, including the field of possibility. I receive abundantly from all directions. Perfect. Brothers, if this message feels true for you, and you already find yourself growing, feeling more empowered because of this message, I'd like you to join our Men of Means community. And if you're already part of it, use your generosity muscle and invite another man who can really benefit from this information. So many of us guys, we struggle in silence. We're trying to figure it out on our own. And we get frustrated and resentful that no one is helping us. I personally want to teach you how to create ultimate partnerships with your family, with your wife, with your business partners, and ultimately with God, the field of possibility. So if you haven't already, join our men's community. You won't regret it. And if you're already a part of ours, invite a few friends, share this video, and give them a chance to stand in their power. I look forward to our next video together. This is Men of Means, and I am Soleil Rad, at your humble service. Amen.